Hi, I'm Rich Bear. I'm the City of Alexandria's Transportation Environmental Services Director, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the Beauregard transportation system that's under consideration right now as part of the Beauregard plan. You know, our city is part of an urban regional area of about 5 million people, and the city's population from 1950 to 2010 grew from 62,000 to 140,000, and right now we have about 1.5 million additional residents since that time within our regional area. We're part of a region, and what that means is we have to think both what our residents need as well as what our residents need as they travel to other parts of that region. In the map you can actually see that we have about 55 million square feet within the city and around the city, basically slated for development, redevelopment, or currently in development. It's very important that transportation, and most importantly transit and land use, play a linked role within this land use planning strategy. As you can see here, what we've done is we've laid out the walk sheds, and these are the darker ring circles around urban nodes within the Beauregard plan, and then the larger rings are actually half-mile walk sheds. We've tried to cover the entire set of urban nodes within the Beauregard planning area with these walk sheds so that the Corridor C, bus rapid transit, transportation running along Beauregard and down Sanger and then down Van Dorn to the Van Dorn Metro can basically get those people going back and forth, and at the other end it connects of course onto the Pentagon. We've had a lot of discussions in both the Beauregard planning effort as well as the bus rapid transit, high capacity transit corridor meetings to kind of flesh this out. And this was a decision insofar as putting in bus rapid transit within the Beauregard corridor that was completed by council after much input last fall of 2011. If you think about other modes of transportation, what we've heard from the public is we want to be multimodal. And also to realize that in this very western edge of the city, we are really not as urbanized as other areas of the city or the region. We're sort of, if you will, think of us as suburban. It's very important to accommodate automobiles, pedestrians, transit, bicyclists within this set of transportation means around this planning area. And with that, you see a large number of trails on the map which lay out the connectivity all the way down and through the Holmes Run Trail and then over to Arlington and into the 4 Mile Run Trail system. Very important, the connectivity in this area. This area really lacks the pedestrian and trail system that many other areas within our city currently have. And the Beauregard plan takes that a step forward into the realization that we can have that mode be a viable mode. In fact, part of the BRAC planning actually lays out up to like 3% of the people that will be going to the BRAC facility, which is in this planning area, as getting there by on cycle, a bicycle, or on foot. Both viable means in this urban or this suburban area of the city. The transportation analysis and looking at how automobiles, and we are very much concerned about both the automobiles and their progression around the Beauregard planning system, as well as allowing people to get to and from work that may have to leave this Beauregard area and go to other areas of the city or other areas of our urban region. We looked at 32 intersections well outside and beyond the limits of the Beauregard planning area. It was very important because with that analysis, we wanted to take in all of the Council of Government, our regional planning area, insofar as their impacts and effects on this western Beauregard planned area. We wanted to look at the effects that perhaps the HOV lane considerations would have, the HOV transit ramp, the BRAC improvements, both the short-term and mid-term, which are contained and defined more on our BRAC element page of our website. We also look to the developer into implementing their fair share, if you will, of transportation infrastructure and improvements. What I mean by that is the developer is putting forward about in the tune of about $140 million worth of improvements. A great part of that is transportation. In fact, probably the largest part of that is transportation. They are both dedicating right-of-way for bus rapid transit along Beauregard, as well as putting in, as you can see, many parallel roads and streets. It's very important to establish a grid system to make sure that no one road becomes that super highway or super roadway that becomes so wide that basically becomes a pedestrian, a cyclist disconnect from the east to the west side, for example, with Beauregard. We want to have other roads and other collector roads that can move that traffic around. This roadway network is basically summed up, if you look at, in a series of arterials, collectors, and local roadways. These roadways all play a hierarchical important role in moving traffic around. This graphic shows the number of streets that will be contained to develop a grid system as best as possible given the topographic and the current development issues that surround and are a part of any planning district, and especially the Beauregard area. The ellipse itself plays a key role in alleviating traffic which is currently constrained at the Seminary-Beauregard intersection. This ellipse is basically a traffic circle which allows traffic to move more freely through the intersection, but also through intersection signals allows those spokes to accommodate pedestrian crossing needs. It moves traffic off of Seminary, where in the projected area of 2035, traffic without this ellipse would back up onto the interstate, basically offering a gridlock condition which is unacceptable, as we've heard from the community within this Beauregard area. Pedestrian cyclists we've already talked a little bit about, and those improvements are shown here, most importantly around Beauregard having both on-street and off-street trail and multi-use pathways for pedestrians and cyclists. So very important as an element of our transportation. Overall, what you see here is the transportation transit element of the network, looking at Corridor C, as we've discussed, as an important and a spine link all the way from the Pentagon down to the Van Dorn Metro. As you can see from on the upper right of the slide, there is a typical section which basically is a complete street. It has a mode of transportation for the cyclist, for the pedestrian, for the automobile, and also for the bus rapid transit. Wrapping this all up and under the umbrella of a transportation demand management plan, the developer, or I should say the developers, work with the city in making sure that their impact on our environment and their impact within the plan stays balanced among the many modes within this Beauregard planning area. Making sure that the strategies for transit incentives are enacted and the city monitors them for priority van pool, strategic parking plans, and also getting people out of their automobiles and into modes of transit, both rail, shuttle to this facility area, the Beauregard plan, via Corridor C, as well as using other non-motorized methods of travel. So with that, I hope that you'll check out our website with the Beauregard plan. I've tried to give you a little bit of an overview on the transportation system. It's a very complicated system built throughout about 3 years of planning and effort through the stakeholders, city staff, and the developer partners. Thank you.